Steve Elliot, celebrating 2 years. Celebrating 2 years, Steve Elliot.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Off the top, I'm going to have to ask for your indulgence. This was a speech I had planned and prepared slavishly to deliver at our 60th anniversary. But Bob decided it didn't quite make the cut, so you get to hear it tonight. In all seriousness, this is kind of my love letter to Port Credit Toastmasters for what it's given me over the past 2 years. When I was researching this, I came across a quote that I thought was very apropos, and it was, "A speech is like a love affair. Any fool can start one. It takes considerable skill to end it." And so I come with you to tell you about my journey through Toastmasters and how my love affair with Toastmasters began. As Albert has said, it started 2 years ago. I nervously walked into the room. How little did I know that Port Credit Toastmasters likes to start their meetings right on time. So I was like some of our guests tonight, scrambling in, trying to avoid eye contact with anyone as I took a seat right in that very corner where Alfred and Kate find themselves. I felt like I was on a first date. I was nervous. I was shy. I didn't want to say anything embarrassing. So as I sat there, studying my evaluation forms, I heard Carl, who was Toastmaster, say, "Steve, would you like to tell us what brought you to Toastmasters tonight?" I nervously stood and explained that I had just been laid off from my job, was looking to transition to another career, and networking contacts had decided Toastmasters would be the place for me to go. I shared that story, and as the meeting wore on, my defenses wore down, and I started to really like what I was feeling in the room. Now, Smokey Robinson once wrote about love and said, "You better shop around." This guy didn't. I fell in love with this club. And I've stayed for the whole 2 years and still going. Now, some of the skills that it teaches you, like any love affair, you're going to have changes in your life. And Toastmasters has changed my life on a personal level and on a professional level. At work, they started to notice I was in Toastmasters when they would call on me in the meetings and say, "Steve, do you have any thoughts to offer?" And I would start to say, "We've said 14 times." They also got a little weirded out when I said, "Who's timing this meeting? Are we going to keep on track here or what?" But the one skill that definitely came to my forefront was impromptu speaking. Speaking off the cuff. Now, for the guests here tonight, you haven't seen a Table Topics yet. It will be in our second half. But that is where you can really strengthen your impromptu speaking skills. And in the retail world, which is where I find myself, I would often be called on to speak just off the cuff. My skills got sharpened because of Toastmasters, and that has helped me tremendously. I also mentioned that it helped me personally as well. Now, I have to admit, my 3-year-old is not crazy about the agenda I give him for our playtime. But my wife has been very impressed at how well I now receive feedback. Because at Toastmasters, we're all about feedback. And I have to admit, I was usually defensive. But this group, this membership, is so warm with their evaluations. You don't even feel like you're getting tips and suggestions on how to, it doesn't come across critical. It comes across in the way it's intended, which is to make you a better person. Now, also, when you fall in love, you sometimes have to learn a different language. And Toastmasters has a lot to offer on that front. I remember going to my first Tim Hortons fellowship after a meeting, sitting there and nodding my head as people talked about CCs and CLs and Project 6s and Project 8s, and with great reverence, Project 10. Now I'm sitting there going, what are these projects? How long is this going to take me to deliver? I soon discovered that this was not an epic project, but a manageable thing where you could learn and develop more leadership skills. And so the tension again wore away. Now, I know the members of Port Credit Toastmasters are sitting there going, when is there going to be an Elvis reference? And so I must throw in an Elvis reference for those members. True love travels on a gravel road. I don't know if that meets up to the King standards, but he once sang that line. I don't want to paint too rosy a picture here, because when you learn, things are sometimes bumpy, because you're experiencing things you wouldn't normally experience. Now, being the naive newbie I was, we announced that we were going to have a spring conference, and so I, totally unaware, decided I'm going to sign up for the spring conference. As it turns out, I competed against two other members who joined at the same time as me, Audrey and Tom. And so we all did our speech evaluation contest. And that day, a nemesis was created for Steve. For you see, to this day, I have never beaten Audrey. Think of us like Seinfeld and Newman. Kind of a love-hate relationship. I came runner-up to Audrey. And so I decided I'm going to hone my evaluation skills, and so I really worked on speech evaluations, which again, guests will see at the second half of this meeting. I was fortunate the following year, Audrey decided not to. And so I found myself winning the contest. Not only did I win here at Port Credit, I won at the next level, which Carl has already referred to when he was talking about area contests. I thought, this can't last. I went to division. I won again. Now I'm being told, oh, you're going to represent us at the district conference. Well, the district conference has 300 to 400 people. To say I was slightly intimidated is an understatement. Especially that morning when I went down to the auditorium. They put the microphone on. Test, test, test. There's people there that know the rule book inside and out. And while they're doing the briefing, one of the gentlemen says, I protest, I protest. And I'm sitting there going, what have I gotten myself into? Now, I drew the last number, which I thought was good. I thought, this is great. I'll be able to go on last, wow them, make a great impression with the judges. Something happened on the way from the room to the stage, and I found myself with dry mouth, stumbling through my words, failing to make eye contact with the audience, and I lost. Now, did I feel despaired? Did I feel down? I did not. I felt uplifted because, again, it was another learning experience that I was going to take, and I knew that the next year, if Audrey didn't compete, I would be able to learn from the experience I had. I want to end finally with club officer roles. I've already shared with you that I am the vice president of membership. I view club officer as giving back to the club and all that it's given me. I think it's a great service that you can do. I would urge everyone in the room who has not yet experienced being a club officer to do so. Because to me, that's when you give back to what Toastmasters has gave you. I've explained to you that professionally and personally, it has certainly improved my life, and it's caused many changes which I know would not have been possible without the help of the people in this room. So we conclude my love letter to Port Credit Toastmasters by saying, yes, I'm a fool up here speaking away. I almost hope that I never gain the skill, that I always want to keep coming back and keep trying, because to me, this is a great indulgence that I cherish. Thank you, Mr. President.